Here's where we finished last time, and I marked the frame where the stretchers goes in, which is which side. So now I go again and will the layout from the mortises and tenons to the stretchers. As you can see, I marked already the tenons and numbered the frames that I exactly know where's where. I did it for the front side and, as you can see, for the back side as well. I will turn them around so you can see where each tenon goes, and the top and bottom stretchers, they will go through the tenon and mortises on top and the back on the side frames. So I do like a hook so they interlock. It will be quite interesting how it works out. I hope it worked well. It should look nicely too. The middle stretchers, they will get a wedged mortise at the back side and at the front side. For the back side, I must say, they're a little bit complicated because of the notches from the panels. So instead of wedging them inside the tenon, I will go and glue them on top and on bottom, because it's with the grain. The glue should be stronger than the wood, so it will still fit the purpose without risking to break the tenon. So stay with me. I show you and I go ahead with it. Hope you enjoy. I will start by sawing the tenons. So I put some waste wood on the bottom so I can clamp it properly to the workbench. And yeah, now it's get to the sawing. So I finished up all the 12 tenons. As you can see, there are more markings from the frame. Went very well. It took a while, but I'm quite satisfied with the result. So now I go ahead and do the mortises on the upside frames. can see there are my marks for top and bottom. And now I can make the layout of the mortises. Jump forward. Ta-da! Finished already. That was fast, wasn't it? So here you can see the markings. This side remains the same. And when I turn them around 90 degrees, as you can see, there are the mortises. So I killed the wood that I exactly know where to saw, and now it goes to sawing. After sawing the mortises, I put the waste wood in between and put the ruler. This I hope will avoid any break off when I do the chiseling. And now I chisel the mortise out. After finishing the mortises, I go ahead and do the interlocking thing with something like the hook, so that joint will keep strong, and that should be a good idea, a good solution if three joints come together. So I go ahead. I figured that the best way to make the hooks is if you mark them through the existing mortise, so you can sure it will fit when you put it together later, and put it in an angle, and then I just mark it with a pen. I put the hooks for the sides on the bottom, so later when you look from the top, it looks like nothing happened at all. I flip to art. Do the same at the other side. And now I can just finish up the interlocking system. So, just to show you how it works, I will put the connection together, and this construction goes all 8 corners. And I hope this will be a strong joint, and I will do it in fast forward. Just make myself. These are the bottom 4 corners done, just to give you a rough idea how it will look later. I think it would look awesome. I go ahead and finish that, and next time outside and show you the finished frame. At least the main frame, because the stretchers in the middle are still missing. So stay tuned. We are going there. Marked out the notches already later, where the side panels, back panels, and front panels go in. And yeah, let's take a beauty shot. Ta-da! All 8 corners finished. Now you may ask, will it hold? Well, I think that's good enough for me. Let's enjoy the fruits of labor. Now the next step will be doing the stretchers in the middle. But until now, I'm quite happy with that. So stay tuned. So here we are. Layout for the stretchers done. So I will go ahead and do some chiseling, I guess. It's about a little bit. See, speed. So that's the rough chiseling. Now I go up to the fine tune. That's the first one done, so only 3 more to go. Next I will mark the next one, then we just go ahead. So this is the rough layout of the left and right, upper and lower beam. As you can see, here's a place where the other tenon goes through. I have the panel 7mm protruding both sides. I have marked where the bottom plate goes in because the plywood is 18mm wide, so the width is 18mm, the depth is 10, that I don't cut into the tenon. I'll turn this around. As you can see, I put a place here at all 4 because to accommodate the side panel, it is 80mm wide, and I will cut with a circular saw both sides in a depth from 12mm. So this is the router bit, because after I saw the sides with the saw, I will go through with it with the router bit. So I notch this out, that the bit has place when I start the routing, that it can turn freely. This is a 60mm bit. The hole width will be 18, so I cut at this side, and at this side my sawing blade is 2mm. That should give me plenty room for this bit to fit in between. The reason why I use the circular saw at first is that I don't get a breakout at the sides. So if I cut it down with the circular saw, I hopefully will up with a nicely and no breakout at the sides. That's at least the plan. So this is the layout for the upper and downer rail, left and right side. Now these are the connecting points in the behind. I marked already. There is my bottom plate protruding. because this is in the middle. Wait, I changed that. This is down. This is upper one. So there will be notches here at the middle one at both sides, because they use the upper and the downer panel, right? So this one I will cut off at both sides, and because this is my tenon through with the wedges, I have to keep in mind that I leave here enough space that it don't break through. Later I will drill holes 3mm diameter to avoid that it cracks through, and the wedges will be short like this width, so that should work, hopefully I always say. So I hope it makes sense to you. In the downer rail at the back side I also marked already the bottom panel. It takes a lot of time, but I hope at the end it will pay off. For the upper and downer part of the back side, it was quite simply. I just notched off a little bit because the panel later will be part of the construction. So it will replace this part of the joint, and because when I saw it I have enough space here, and then I just go with the router through. That's why I don't need to notch this in. Hope you can see that clearly. Shouldn't be a problem. For the middle beam, it is quite another thing, because as you can see, there are notches on both sides, 12mm deep, and here is a tenon. So I have to cut down and then chisel this one out, that the router bit will fit in between and I can smoothly go through, and take enough space that when the circular blade comes out here, it doesn't hit the tenon there. So I mark this, and then we go. So I'm preparing the wedged tenon. As you can see, I put a hole in the ground. Go through, I drill it from both sides that I'm exactly. And now I just cut down this line until it hits the hole. And later there will be two wedges moving this part outside to have a more stable connection. Usually I plant it at the front and at the back, but for the front I'm quite sure, because in the front there are the drawers and the opening for the upper compartment, So I think there is no way that I only put a go through 10, but for the back side I decided this is way too tight, it will break. So instead of putting the wedge here along that line, I will put them outside. And because this is a long wood and the wedge will be long wood too, and the bond between the tenon and the wedge is made by glue, and the glue connection is a very good connection. It will maybe not be so effectful as if I put the wedge in here, but it will be the better possibility than break this tenon, because if I break this tenon there is no support at all, but if I put it outside I still have the support from the glue, and I think it will be a very strong connection. Now I'm gonna go ahead, and I still have to make the entries for the bit and the saw here. I guess it will be not that complicated because I'll have a lot of space, but I will take no chances because the back wall is 18 and this is around 16. I have to remove like 1 mil each side that I have later a good fit, and I will put out the edges, which is like 1 by 1 centimeter on the panel. That will save me a lot of work. Okay. So, nearly done with the preparation for the sawing and the routing. That's good. Took me a day. Okay. When you ask why I do it now and not while sawing and routing, because this is an apartment, it would be a bad idea to saw the whole day with a circular saw and route after that. I will go to the place of my wife. So this mostly wraps up this episode. Next time we see us, there will be notches in this frame, and I will cut the panels to size. So next time it will go to assembly, sanding, and hopefully after that we have something like a corpus for workbench. So see you soon. If you liked, hit the like button. If you like to stay tuned, subscribe. See ya soon.